The entire conference room fell silent, so silent that you could hear the hum of the air conditioner. Rows of executives sat stiffly, eyes locked on the whiteboard where a little girl, barely 8 years old, had just solved a mathematical formula that half the company's analysts had struggled over for weeks. And when the CEO asked, breathless, "Who taught you this formula?" the girl turned, pointed toward the back of the room, and said, with innocent pride, "My daddy." Every head swiveled at once. At the doorway, still holding a mop, stood a man in a navy blue janitor uniform. He froze, eyes wide, as though someone had suddenly dragged him into a spotlight he never asked for. The Hook, the girl WHO shocked a company. Victoria Hale, the CEO of Hale Tech Innovations, had seen many brilliant minds walk into her boardroom. But this moment, tore through every assumption she had ever made about talent, education, and background. The little girl, Lily, clutched a worksheet filled with numbers. Her hand was shaky, but her voice was confident. "I just solved it the way Daddy showed me," she said. Victoria blinked. This wasn't just a correct answer. This was a solution using an advanced shortcut used in upper-level engineering. "How old are you?" Victoria asked quietly. 8, Lily replied. 8, and the man who taught her was a janitor. The dad, a man WHO hid his brilliance. The janitor stepped forward nervously, setting his mop aside. I'm sorry," he stammered. "Lily wasn't supposed to come in. She was waiting in the lobby while I finished my shift." Victoria's eyes narrowed, not in anger, but in curiosity. "And you taught her that formula?" He hesitated. "Yes, I guess. You guess," one of the executives snapped. "That formula is graduate level." The janitor swallowed hard. "I used to study engineering. But life happened. I had to leave school." His voice cracked slightly, but he steadied himself. "I took the janitorial job so I could raise Lily on my own." Murmurs filled the room. Judgmental, confused, impressed, all mixed into one. Victoria held up a hand, silencing everyone. "What's your name?" she asked. "Daniel," he replied softly. The challenges they carried. Victoria invited Daniel and Lily to her office after the presentation. The girl skipped happily. Daniel walked like a man approaching a courtroom. The office was pristine, modern, large enough to feel intimidating. Victoria motioned for them to sit. "Daniel," she began, "why didn't you finish your engineering degree?" He took a long breath. "My wife died when Lily was 3. I had no family, no support. I needed a job, any job. Something stable, something that let me be with her. So I let the rest go." He stared at the floor. "But I didn't stop learning. At night, after Lily slept, I kept studying, online courses, books, anything I could download. I didn't want my brain to go to waste." Lily beamed at him proudly. "My daddy is the smartest person in the whole world," she announced. Daniel smiled, embarrassed, eyes glistening. Victoria felt something inside her shift. The CEO's dilemma. That night, Victoria sat alone in her office long after everyone else left. She replayed the scene over and over. The girl's perfect explanation, the father's humility, the wasted potential. Her father, who had once been a poor factory worker, flashed across her memory. If someone hadn't given him a chance, she would never be where she was. She sighed. "How many Daniels have I overlooked? People hiding brilliance behind uniforms. Behind fear. Behind life's unfair turns." She made a decision. A bold one. The offer that shook his world. The next morning, Daniel arrived for his shift. He was pushing his cart down the hallway when he saw Victoria waiting for him. She was holding a folder. "Morning, Daniel," she said warmly. "Walk with me." He looked confused but followed. They entered a small meeting room. She handed him the folder. Inside was an offer letter. A real one. A trainee engineering position. Paid training included. Flexible hours. Childcare support. Full scholarship if he wished to finish his degree. Daniel blinked rapidly. Is this for real?" "You have talent," Victoria said. "And talent doesn't deserve to rot in the shadows. I want to invest in you." Daniel covered his face, overwhelmed. I don't know what to say." "You don't need to say anything," she replied softly. "Just don't waste the gift you clearly have." Lily wrapped her arms around her dad's leg, squealing. "Daddy, you're going to be an engineer." His voice cracked. "I hope so, sweetheart, I really hope so." The road up was not easy. Daniel accepted the offer, but success didn't come overnight. He had to relearn complex math, balance parenting with study and work, face coworkers who doubted him, overcome the deep insecurity of, I'm not good enough, work late nights to catch up with the team. But every time he wanted to quit, Lily would sit beside him, swinging her little legs, humming quietly, keeping him company while he studied. And Victoria checked in often, not as a boss, but as someone who believed in him. Slowly, piece by piece, Daniel transformed. The day he proved everyone wrong. Months later, Hale Tech had a major problem, a design flaw in one of their products that the senior engineers couldn't crack. During a meeting, Daniel hesitantly raised his hand. I think I know a way to fix it. The room went silent. He walked to the board, heart pounding, just like Lily had months earlier. He began drawing, explaining, connecting dots no one else had seen. When he finished, the room erupted. This works. Why didn't we see this? This is brilliant. Victoria just smiled, because she had seen it. From the very beginning, the full circle moment. A few months later, the company held a ceremony to honor innovation. Daniel was called on stage. He stood there, no longer a janitor in a uniform, but an engineer in a crisp button-down, confidence glowing from him. Lily sat in the front row, clapping wildly. And as Victoria handed him the award, she whispered, You didn't just change your life, Daniel. You changed ours. His eyes glistened. Thank you, for seeing me. She shook her head. No, thank Lily. She saw you first. Lily ran to the stage and hugged her dad as the audience applauded. The message, and the inspiring end. Daniel's story traveled throughout the company, then across social media, inspiring thousands. Because brilliance can come from anywhere. Because uniforms don't define intelligence. Because one act of courage from a child can change an adult's fate. Because sometimes all a person needs is someone willing to believe in them. And above all, never underestimate the quietest person in the room. They might just be the genius the world is waiting for.